Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back. Tonight, I want to share a story with you that is both deeply sad and breathtakingly beautiful. It's a timeless tale about hope, about finding light in the darkest of places, and about a little girl's powerful dreams. This is Hans Christian Andersen's unforgettable classic, The Little Match Girl. Let's settle in and experience this moving story together. It was the last evening of the old year, New Year's Eve. The world outside was covered in a thick, white blanket of snow, and the air was filled with a biting cold. In the growing darkness, a poor little girl walked through the streets. She had no hat and no shoes. Her bare feet were red and blue from the cold. When she left home, she had slippers on, but they were her mother's, much too large for her tiny feet. She had lost them both while running across the road to escape to carriages that were driving terribly fast. One slipper was lost forever, and a boy had run off with the other, saying he would use it as a cradle for his own child someday. So the little girl walked on with her naked feet in an old worn-out apron. She carried many bundles of matches, and she held one small bundle in her hand. All day long, she had been trying to sell them, but no one had bought even a single match. Not a single person had given her a penny. She was shivering with cold and hunger. A small, lonely figure of misery wandering through the bustling city. The snowflakes fell on her long golden hair that curled so beautifully around her neck, but she didn't notice. Her mind was on other things. Lights were shining from every window, and from the houses there was a wonderful smell of roast goose in the air. It was, after all, New Year's Eve, a time for feasting and family. This made her feel even more alone. She didn't dare go home. She had sold no matches, not a single one, and she knew her father would be angry. He would surely scold her. Besides, it was just as cold at home. They lived under the roof, and the wind whistled through the gaps, even though they had stuffed straw and rags into the largest cracks. She found a small corner between two houses, one sticking out a little farther into the street than the other. She sat down, huddling and drawing her little feet up under her, but she grew colder and colder. Her small hands were almost numb with cold. Oh, she thought, perhaps just one match could warm me. If only I could pull one from the bundle, strike it against the wall, and warm my fingers. The thought was too tempting to resist. She pulled out a single match. Scratch! How it sputtered and burned. It had a warm, bright flame, like a tiny dancing candle. She held her hands over it. And in that moment, a wonderful thing happened. The little flame felt so good, so comforting. She felt as if she were sitting in front of a great iron stove, decorated with polished brass knobs and feet. The fire burned so beautifully inside, giving off a gentle, radiant warmth. It was so lovely and warm. But just as she stretched out her feet to warm them too, the flame went out. The match was gone. The grand stove vanished, and she was left sitting with only the burnt end of a match in her hand, the cold wall pressing against her back. She decided to strike another. It burned brightly, and where its light fell upon the wall, the brick became transparent, like a thin veil. She could see right into the room. A table was spread with a snow-white cloth set with fine shining china. In the center, a magnificent roasted goose, stuffed with apples and dried plums, was steaming invitingly. And then an even more wonderful thing happened. The goose hopped down from the dish, waddled across the floor with the carving knife and fork still in its back, and came right towards the poor little girl. Then the match went out, and nothing but the thick, cold, damp wall was left in front of her. The feast was gone. She had to try again. She lit another match. Suddenly, she found herself sitting under the most beautiful Christmas tree she had ever seen. It was even larger and more splendidly decorated than the one she had peeked at through the glass doors of the rich merchant's house last Christmas. Thousands of candles burned on the green branches and colored pictures, like the ones she'd seen in shop windows, looked down at her. The tree was a galaxy of light and color. The little girl reached out her hands towards the beautiful lights, and the match went out. The Christmas lights on the tree rose higher and higher through the air until she saw them as stars in the night sky. Then one of the stars fell, leaving a long, fiery trail behind it. "Someone is dying," thought the little girl. Her dear old grandmother, the only person who had ever been truly kind to her, had told her that when a star falls, a soul is going up to God. Her grandmother was gone now, but her words remained. She struck yet another match against the wall. It lit up the darkness, and in the bright, clear light, she saw her grandmother standing before her. She looked so clear and shining, so gentle and full of love. "Grandmother," cried the little girl, her voice filled with desperation and love. "Oh, take me with you. I know you will vanish as soon as the match goes out. You will disappear just like the warm stove, the delicious roast goose, and the beautiful Christmas tree." She was so afraid of losing her. In a frantic hurry, she quickly struck all the rest of the matches she had left in the bundle. She wanted to keep her grandmother there, to hold onto this beautiful vision. The matches burned with such a magnificent glow that it became brighter than daylight. Her grandmother had never seemed so tall or so beautiful. She looked down at the little girl with a radiant smile. She bent down, took the little girl in her arms, and they both flew upwards in a blaze of brightness and joy, far, far above the earth. They went to a place where there was neither cold, nor hunger, nor any fear. They were with God. In the cold, pale light of dawn, the little girl was found. She was leaning against the wall, with rosy cheeks and a gentle smile on her face. She had frozen to death on the last cold night of the old year. The New Year's sun rose and shone down on her small, still body. She sat there with the matches, a bundle of which was almost entirely burnt. She was trying to warm herself. The people who found her said, shaking their heads, no one could ever know what beautiful things she had seen in the light of the flames. No one could imagine in what glory she had entered with her grandmother into the joy and light of a new year. Thank you for joining me for this story. It's a powerful reminder to be kind, to notice those around us, and to appreciate the warmth and light we have in our own lives. If this story touched you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more tales that make us think and feel. I'll see you in the next one.